Warhammer 40k, or now better known as Warhammer 40k.
Warhammer 40k.
Here we go.
Henry.
Yep.
Yay.
I feel so sorry for him.
Yeah,
Yeah, me too.
he's in a bad spot.
Well, the rumor is that Amazon is forcing this. And I tend to kind of believe it because when I was talking to Arch, normally from what he, normally when they announce shit, they've got something to launch. And this was kind of out of nowhere.
Yes, 40k is first and foremost a plastic toy company, so it's very weird for a plastic toy company to not have any plastic toys to sell when they announce something as major as this faction has females, despite never ever having had females before.
That is actually a pretty good point. It seems kind of out of the blue and it doesn't work with what typically happens in these situations. But then again, remember, posting your alliances is never too late or never too early in these types of situations. So them just saying this because, yeah, why not? It may just be the fact that they are preparing you for something that's coming or, you know, something of that nature. That can also happen. Again, when Vogue takes hold, it doesn't matter when it does it. It's just going to start doing things at complete random, and it's all going to seem nonsensical. And this is one of those situations, clearly.
Oh, really?
How did it go down? Because I never got the original, like, did they announce and just tweet it out and say, hey, there's females now, or did somebody ask a question and they answered it?
That's what happened.
It was leaked first,
actually. What the fuck, why?
Not to actually you, but it was leaked first.
Henry was born at the wrong time.
So it was leaked, and then they came out and were like, oh, hey, female custodes.
I put the thread.
I didn't know it was leaked, but I guess that doesn't, again, matter at all. And also, if it was leaked, that actually does give more credence that it is real, that they, you know, were waiting for the announcement to be done, and now they're just like, yes, it's happening. All hands on deck. Everyone be happy. Do your soy emotes because we're going rogue. Who knows?
In the chat for you.
They put it out in one of their codexes, which were handed out to people for review. And in the codex, without GW telling them, there was a female custodes, and that very quickly got spotted by the internet.
About time Warhammer, or whatever it's called, finally gets some female representation. I hope they're all also ugly. Because if addition... You know what's the most funny part about this woke stupidity? It's the fact that initially it started with you need female and whatnot representation. And then it happened and all the females were hot. Now Volk is not fine with, you know, a game having females. No, they need to be ugly. That's like the key here. They need to be ugly. That's how it works. They need to be ugly. Otherwise, it doesn't count. If you have a hot female, by the way, that is not Volk. That is anti-Volk and a problem. Oh man, it's just crazy.
And then there have always been female custodes was in response to a question, why did you add this? And they said, there have always been female custodes.
Best answer ever.
And that's an obvious lie.
Yes.
There's nothing to back it up. Arch, I saw that stuff you were sharing from the old book on Twitter. A bunch of people were sharing some stuff showing that that's a lie. And they just came out and did reverse history.
And these are Henry's favorite faction, right?
The one who plays.
Yeah. Man,
Here,
that
is
interesting.
That is interesting.
On purpose, man.
I have the passage from the book Flash. So all sons, but now they're girls.
Hey, they can identify, I guess, as sons.
That's true. Yeah.
Let me tell you why I think this is an Amazon move, and Amazon is pushing this, because this will be a whole heap of ESG points. Because from what I've learned talking to Arch is the Emperor's DNA overwrites these people, so they're going to look like masculine, butch. They're going to look like dudes. Yeah. So you can bring in a lot of trans actors. This is a perfect opportunity for them to do that.
Well, it's also a way for them to
clearly.
Bro, imagine, by the way, you're Henry Cavill. Just for a moment, imagine this. First, you get to go and be the Witcher. One of the things you really wanted because you love the thing, right? And then it completely gets destroyed by a bunch of dumb, completely out of touch, lunatic activists who think that they are better than the source material. And you're like, I'm out. And then the show collapses without you. So you get vindicated to a degree because, you know, you were right. That literally proves that Henry Cavill was right with everything that he did. It wasn't the showrunners. It wasn't anything that anyone did. It was Henry Cavill who literally kept the Witcher alive even for how long it was alive. And then you're like, well, one of these things that I loved so much is gone. But Warhammer 40k, the custodes, yo, that's lit, okay? That is amazing. 10 out of 10 would do. And then Warhammer goes woke. And his favorite part of Warhammer goes woke. Man, you can't make this up. Henry Cavill is just having the worst year ever. Because he's a guy who doesn't need money anymore. He has plenty of money. His kids are gonna have money and all of that stuff. Like he just wants to do something that he cares about. And all of the things that he cares about are getting destroyed by woke idiots. This is crazy.
Have a character that will be able to beat up a space marine, because they're not going to make female space marines because that would actually cause, you know, riots in the streets. But of 40k, but the custodes are known to be more powerful than the space marines. So, and because they don't want to, the thing is with these woke bastards, they don't want to show a female character getting an advantage on a male character through subtlety, through intelligence, through any other sort of guile, right? They want to show a female character through raw strength who overpowers a male.
Oh yeah, I have talked about this, about She-Hulk. Why is She-Hulk so uncanny and hateable? Because it doesn't matter that you know that she's some kind of mutant or whatever that's supposed to destroy tanks and whatnot. Your brain still, at the core of it, sees a woman punching dudes and they go flying. And it's screaming at you from the bottom of your subconsciousness that that's wrong, this is stupid. That's what happens, but they don't care about this stuff. You know, remember when Avengers came out, by the way? Remember Avengers, Black Widow? No one complained about Black Widow beating up dudes. Why? Well, because she didn't just go Hulk mode on them and just punch them in the face and then they just collapsed like tofu. No. She did it through, well, she is, by the way, a super soldier still. But again, that part doesn't even matter. She still did it through being more athletic, more flexible, gadgets, and, you know, other things. She didn't win on an equal playing field against the Hulk. She won because she utilized what she is capable of, what she is capable with as a woman. And no one complained about this garbage, okay? But for some reason, these woke idiots want women to just go punch men in face and win.
Male character through raw strength to play this narrative of women can be stronger than men. So that's the narrative they're going to push, and they can do that with the custodes, and they can say, oh, it's canon, right? That's the real tragedy, I think.
That is going to be definitely a part of it. We don't know exactly what they're doing yet, whether it's Amazon or BlackRock or Vanguard who had invested in them. Lots of rumors flying around right now.
Yes, they're invested in.
How much do they have invested into Games Workshop?
BlackRock and Vanguard together own about 11%, and then there's another fairly woke corporation that owns another, I think, 4 or 5.
You know what I just found out recently? You know who they own 5% of? Nintendo.
Oh, big surprise there.
I was kind of a little surprised by that.
I mean, yeah, like.
Well, Nintendo recently made the Pokemon avatars all ugly women. Like, removed asses, hips, and all of that.
Nintendo's all messed up now, man.
Yeah, that is
Pokemon
surprising.
Go, everything.
Yeah.
Nina! Hi!
Hey, Nina.
A lot of people in here.
What's up,
It's a party.
guys?
It's a party.
I gotta say, this thing bums me out, man. I was waiting to get into this IP with Henry Cavill, and this bums me out. I was looking forward to getting into this, and now I'm like, oh.
Now, admittedly, I have to say, a Vogue Warhammer 40 show may not actually be the saddest thing ever, but it may actually be the most hilariously shitty thing ever. AKA, you can actually hate watch it and enjoy it. And hate watching is the real thing. I have hate watched at this point. Not The Last of Us. I couldn't even hate watch that garbage dumpster fire. I hate watched The Walking Dead and Velma. And Velma season 2 is happening, and I'm gonna watch that and hate watch every second of it and love it. Okay? And I feel that if one thing that goes woke could be perfectly shit enough to watch, it is definitely gonna be Warhammer. I have a feeling it's gonna be the exact right of this doesn't make sense, it's hilarious. It's gonna be like, maybe like the Fallout TV series, right? Well, I would not call the Fallout TV series Vogue, by the way. They had their moments of, oh, ho, 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 communism good, capitalism bad, and whatnot, and stupid crap. But, very minor. I wouldn't call it woke at all, but, it is a complete shit show that you kind of want to watch because it is a complete shit show. And I feel that Warhammer could strike that nail so perfectly on the head.
I don't know if
Like I said, I just actually feel sorry for him. I just feel sorry for him. After Superman, after everything that's happened, The Witcher, and everything like that, and then he goes into something that he really, really loves. Not to say that he didn't love the other things. He is definitely a nerd. But, man...
He can't catch a break.
Will I ever mention Henry Cavill's Superman? No.
No.
Well,
and to specifically go after this army that he's publicly said is his army. Like, what the fuck?
That's the other thing, yeah.
The show is a drop in the bucket on this franchise. The real thing that blows me away on this is, this is not a cheap thing to get into.
No.
Also, by the way, fun fact. There are a bunch of animations currently done by Games Workshop officially as cartoons or anime style of things of Warhammer. And man, they're shit. They are the cheapest, low quality, fucking bullshit garbage you have ever seen in your life. Okay? I think this was a discussion 2 years ago when it first started happening, but it has never actually stopped happening. There are so many mini stories that are complete trash, look horrible, and feel sad. And they're all official. So, this is so the chances that just based on that quality that not Amazon, but Games Workshop thinks it's fine for Warhammer, it's just going to be a disaster just based on that.
No. This is not a cheap hobby. You have to have money to do this. You have to buy these little armies, and then not only is there a money commitment, there's also a time commitment.
Yep.
Because it takes a long time to sit down and paint those little fuckers. I've never done it, but I'm willing to just guess it takes a while.
It takes a long time.
It depends on if you want it done well or not.
Oh, you probably want it to look good, considered you got to take them places and play with people. You're gonna pull out.
Yeah, you've got to build them. You've got to paint them individually, come up with the color scheme that you want, paint it down, paint it, and then playing the game takes a long time.
2 hours on average for one game.
Right?
Hey, what the freak? 2 hours.
So I feel like the actual fandom of the game itself is impenetrable because of those barriers. But if the company itself erodes from the inside, then we've lost that part. But you can still play the game. You can still print the figures. You can paint them. You can do all those other things. You can just be like, all right, well, fuck you. Everything after this point is fake, like we've done with all the other ones. Just Star Wars after 2012. It's all fake. It's all fan made up bullshit.
That's the thing, right? Is that people can basically just 3D print everything and completely just disregard everything they do. Mm-hmm. So they're just hurting themselves, really.
People already do that with the previous Warhammer.
Fantasy.
It's like medieval style, right? Just regular Warhammer.
Wait, don't people already also print Warhammer 40k? I thought they printed everything already, and that was a problem for Games Workshop.
People already do that
because Games Workshop shit is actually out of stock most of the time, and two, it's not actually that super high quality. So, you know, 3D printing stuff out is not exactly the first option.
Don't support it anymore, so you can go online and get like units that are made by people.
You know, you can go on Etsy and get all of them.
Oh yeah.
But I think the damage, and people said it in the chat, and for me, mostly, I don't paint any of the minis or collect any of the minis. But I've read a lot of books and the lore, and I really like it, and would pay for good books and lore. But if you go and nuke the lore, that subset of people that perhaps are just reading or enjoying the story, enjoying the lore, you're completely nuking that entire side of the fandom because the lore becomes absolute garbage. So that's a huge market. You're just saying, okay.
And nuking the lore is dumb because of one other very simple reason, honestly. It's just simply the fact that, hey, you got popular because of the lore. Okay? You got popular because of it in the first place. And now you're going to destroy this thing that made you popular for what? 5 tourists, maybe?
Yeah, we're going to say fuck you to those people and throw them out.
And I would say most of the fandom, like 99% of the fandom of Warhammer is about the lore. Yeah. It's like, what army do I want to choose? What backstory of that army do I like the best? Like, that's the entire thing.
The lore is the most important part, because if you didn't care about the lore, why are you playing 40k? Why aren't you going out into the woods and collecting rocks and mushrooms or whatever to play with? What would be the difference?
Or painting other figures and playing other war games. Like 40k, people like 40k because of the lore and how hardcore it is. It's ridiculous to take that and destroy it.
Relations to that, because one of the arguments that was often made by the Wokies here is that the reason why this is good is because it will bring in diversity. It will finally bring in the elusive female gamers, which we've been told about for so long and yet have not appeared.
By the way, I love the fact that they are really, really trying hard to sell the idea that 50% of gamers are female. I don't know about you, but man, I'm having a hard time finding these female gamers. I know they exist in Valorant, but I also know that all of them are mentally ill who play Valorant, because that's just how the dices have rolled at this point, But other than that, they don't exist. They just play Candy Crush. The only girl gamer that I know that falls under this circumstance is my cousin who plays Candy Crush. That's it, literally. She just plays Candy Crush in The Sims 4. There we go. That's your female base. And then unironically trying to tell us that 50% of gamers are female. My God. Even if we consider that probably 100% of the Candy Crush players are female, or identify as female at this point, let's be real. You still can't saying that even 20% of the gamer population is female is a super generous thing to say. Okay, I don't even believe that 10% of gamers are female. Honestly, I just don't. There's no way you're gonna convince me. And companies like Wizards of the Coast are actively trying to convince you that 50% of the Magic player base is female, which is complete bull.
Listen, you want to bring in female gamers to this? Have Henry film himself building his little figures, and then all of the women will come get interested in it.
That was literally what I was about to say. You want to bring in the females to this hobby? Have a half-naked Henry Cavill putting on armor. There you go.
Good work.
Yes.
I wonder how this is going to affect the release of the Space Marine game when that drops.
Yeah, apparently there's some woke writers attached to that game too.
Oh boy,
of course.
I remember her name. I have it in my bookmark somewhere. But there's someone on there that is very identically Space Marine 2.
Space Marine 2.
Yeah,
they get everything. This
When's
is
that due to drop? That's due this year, isn't it, or next year?
This year.
This year.
Yeah. Unfortunately,
so I wonder how this is going to affect that. And obviously, there's the whole thing of
I just hate the whole like retconning thing, because it just reminds me of The Witcher. you know, and like how they ruined everything. Like it's like only a
the playbook honestly never changes. The woke playbook is the same. Retcon things, pretend it always was like that, then keep ruining it, and everyone who doesn't like it is a bigot. Man, is it a great time to be a bigot. Anyway, this was Quizzer Sense, and thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. That was the Yellow Flash. There you go. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.